Hey, my name is Adewanola Johnson, and you're listening to Tried and True, where we discuss universal truths about our court system as told through my experience as a traveling trial watcher. One of the most important lessons that I learned as a traveling trial watcher is that the state does not want people to know the law, let alone how to apply it. And I saw the repercussions of this while observing a jury trial for a death threats case in Palm Beach. Let me explain. Actually, before I explain, we're going to do something a little different here, okay? We're going to do a little role playing, right? So imagine you're a jury member. And I legitimately, as you're listening to this or watching this, I want you to legitimately imagine that you're a jury member, okay? So imagine you're a jury member, right? And let's say there's a hypothetical law that says it is illegal to be in possession of a chocolate cake. Now, the accused person in this case is in possession of all the ingredients to bake a cake but does not have frosting. Based on the description of the case at hand, is the accused person guilty or not guilty? Again, the law says that it is illegal to be in possession of a chocolate cake. In order to find someone guilty of this offense, the accused person must be in possession of all the ingredients to bake a cake. The accused person before you is in possession of all the ingredients to bake a cake, but does not have frosting. Are they guilty or not guilty? If you said not guilty, you would have just let a guilty man go free. Why? Because frosting is not an ingredient. You don't need frosting to bake a cake. At that point, it's just a garnishment. And look, if you said not guilty, don't be harsh on yourself, okay? You didn't fail the exercise. You didn't fail the accused person. The state failed you. And by failing you, they failed this accused person. They failed the public. Because you have to ask yourself, why doesn't the state teach people the law, right? Because this is an entity that will literally send you a random notice in the mail, right? At 45 years old, 56 years old, 22 years old, calling you for jury duty, telling you that it's your civic duty to participate in democracy by being a jury member, that it's an honor to be able to decide someone else's life by applying the law that they never taught you. Every time that we appoint a jury member who doesn't understand the law, doesn't know how to apply the law, doesn't even have reasoning skills, the state wins. And by not giving you the adequate knowledge, skills, or tools to be able to do that job effectively, that makes you complicit in injustice. I mean, we just saw that right now, right? There was a big case in the news with a Black man who was about to get executed. But it seems as though both the prosecution and defense counsel had already admitted that the trial in and of itself was flawed, and yet the state still proceeded with executing the man. And they're going to say, well, a jury of his peers found him guilty, therefore he's guilty. And it's like, a jury of his peers found him guilty. A jury of his peers, a jury found him guilty. Well, can you walk us through how the jury determined that that person was guilty? Because people make wrong decisions all the time. And I'm just not sure that when we intentionally do not teach people the law, how to apply the law, or basic reasoning skills, that they should be the gatekeepers of people's freedoms. I'm not sure that's the smartest thing to do. And I saw the repercussions of this through a trial that I observed in Palm Beach for a death threats case. For context, the case at hand involves a male who is accused of uttering death threats over the phone to a known member of Congress. Now, this case was so interesting to me because at some point in time during the jury selection process, the prosecution let the jury panel know that they would be hearing a recording of the voicemail that this accused person left behind for the member of Congress. And literally one potential jury member raised their hand and was like, well, if we have the voicemail and he sounds threatening, then I would think he's guilty. Then the judge interjected and gave this analogy of the chocolate cake to basically demonstrate to jury members what their role is and how to apply critical thinking and reasoning skills to the matter at hand. And by the time he was done giving this analogy, he turned to the jury panel and asked, "So is this person guilty or not guilty based on this analogy?" And I watched in horror as 75% of the jury panel said not guilty and 25% said guilty. And that's happening in our court system every day. Because the state will not teach people the law, how to apply the law, or reasoning skills as it pertains to the law, people are making the wrong decision. And so that's one of the greatest lessons that I learned as a traveling trial watcher. The state knows exactly what they're doing when they don't teach you the law, let alone how to apply it. It's because they want you to be complicit in their injustice by issuing the wrong verdict, so that they can absolve themselves of any responsibility by saying that that person was found guilty by a jury of their peers, as opposed to by the state. And that's just the God's honest truth. If you're interested in more truth and haven't decided to throw your shoe at me or block me, then stick around for the next episode of Tried and True.